Hello everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it is great to be here with you. I am scrapbooking some snow pictures today, which is so fitting. We're here in January and there is snow everywhere. It just snowed, but nothing like this. Okay, I might be doing snow pictures, but these pictures are definitely not recent. These are actually from 2009. In 2009, we had a really, look at him. These are of my son, Jacob. I recently found thousands of pictures and I'm so excited that I'm going to get to scrapbook them. But look at this. The snow was so high that these drifts came when it was done. And this is him climbing in a tunnel that he then went like through the front yard and popped up at like another exit or entrance point, depending on how you looked at it. And I was recently chatting with somebody about how we used to get these great snows. But we don't seem to have those as much anymore. And boy, did these pictures just seem so perfect. All right, let's take a look at my inspiration for today. It is right here. This is a layout that is featured in Creative Scrapbooker magazine from summer 2023. One of the things that I do is I do not have a subscription every year. I get a subscription for a year and then maybe I take one off or a couple off, but I like to work my way through. Sometimes I'll rip them out and put them in my scrapbook sketches. Sometimes I'll create design space files. And then I just work with them and play until I get to do different techniques and different things. But this one's going to be my inspiration for today. All right. And it's on page 51. You know, if you're that excited, I do think that they have, like you can go back and buy former publications, but I'm not really sure, but you can check them out if you would like. All right, let's go ahead and dive in here and get some done. All right, so I know that in looking at this, I really like this, but I'm going to want a different size. I liked the clusters that were here with the background because I want to add a little bit of that myself. And I also liked the piece back here. There's a big picture and I don't have a big picture. You'll notice my photos all went in the other orientation. Anytime I see a 5x7 like this and I need the other orientation, I just put two 4x6s, and that's what we're going to do. All right, let me go ahead and grab a couple of items and we'll dive in. Forgot my paste that I had been working with, but it's okay. I just grabbed it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of measuring, so when I'm done, maybe I'll measure. I know that these are my two photos that I would like to focus in that big area. All right, and then I have a few other things I just want to share. I am using the Yeti for winter, and I'll put links in the description of the video to the products that I'm using. I love this collection. I've already done 6 pages with it. I, of course, had to buy another pack because I liked it so much. I just thought I'm going to love it. Look at that cocoa paper. So fun. But look at these Yetis. I had not seen anything like this. So for me, I loved how original it was. I loved the color palette. I could say I love a bazillion times. I also grabbed the Stampin' Thing cuts and I did 2 of the little guys that come with this Stampin' Thing cut. Look, mine's getting a lot of love. A lot of love. Look at these 2. I went ahead and colored them off. But for those of you who have been following my series on the Yeti for winter, I want to let you know what I did here is I still used that True Blue marker. But then what I did is I put Aqua Blue Blend on the top of the True Blue. And it kind of gave like a softer color. And then instead of using the earth brown, I used the ice gray, and I have to say I liked, or the brown gray, sorry. Instead of using the brown gray, I used the ice gray, and I like the brown gray better. All right, so, but I'm using them. I'm all the time trying new things. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. Look at me actually biting the carrot on this picture. All right, I am using up, look. It's like he got hungry. Jake has always been the one who never minded that he had a scrapbooking mom. So he would just pose and ham it up and do all kinds of things. And I was always so thankful for that. All right, I have these tiny little adhesive things from prior classes that I'm trying to use up. So you'll see me bringing those out until they're all gone. All right, and I decided I wanted this one at the top. All right, now I know this is a snowman and I'm using, or a snowman, and I'm using Yetis. I think it's still awesome. All right, here we go. And I have about 1/8 of an inch at the top, and I have 1/8 of an inch onto the left side now, and I'm just eyeballing it. I don't always feel the need to pre-cut all my stuff and make it perfect. The other thing is I use a selfie photo printer, and I'm real comfortable with this. I've had a selfie for years now, but a selfie does not give a true 4x6. It's a little smaller, so sometimes doing it this way will work. And this paper that I have here is part of the matching cardstock collection for this Yeti collection, but this is heavyweight cardstock. It's beautiful. It really does give some dimension there. All right, here we go. Bring that back in a few minutes and we'll dive into this. All right, I've already gutted my paper. This is actually glimmer paper. I'm hoping the camera is going to pick it up. It's gorgeous. And I have this stitched piece here, and if you want to know why it looks so perfect, it's because it's a Design Space file. So I actually cut it once, and it skipped at the last minute, so I flipped it over and I used the other side. All right, no waste here. And this is regular white paper, not the glimmer. And the glimmer is what comes in the cardstock. So you could just grab white right out of your stash. This paper is so thick. I love it. There we go. And I'm just putting, I do not enjoy these tape runners. I'm just putting lots of adhesive all the way around. I'm going to flip it over after I've added it to my gutted piece. I did gut that paper. Okay, it's glimmer paper. There we go. All right, and now I'm going to tell you about this snowflake die that I am bringing in to use on this. Okay, here it is. Okay, this is Say It With Stamps. I'll put the information down in the description. As I said, I love it. You get the shadow cut on this and this super delicate die. And I cut these out with it all out of that glimmer paper. So they're so delicate and so beautiful. They pretty. Now I'm not using the shadow. I'm just going to use some of these. So I cut a few of those, and I have those as well as my one item that I am using out of my stash for every project that I'm doing. These are a couple of the cutaways, and I have these acrylic winter snowflakes. I thought I might use some of those as well. All right, lots of things going on. All right, let's grab our Yeti paper. And what I want to do now is I want to cut the big piece that's going to be behind it. Now, I know I want it shorter than this, but I definitely want it a lot wider. I want to see even more than what's there. And my little 3 strips going down, I think I'm going to make these smaller. I don't see me going with it looking exactly like that, but a lot of inspiration here. All right, I want to see more. I'm going to go 8 inches wide on this, and I want it to be a little shorter. I'm backwards. Let's slide it down. Like, will I ever get it right? Okay, so it's 8 inches high. I'm going to go 8 inches wide, so I get 1 inch on each side of this paper. And then what I want to do is I want to cut it about, I'm going to say 1/2 of an inch from each one, and it's 8. So I'm looking for 7 by 8. This is directional paper. So I just want to make sure that I get this cut correctly. So 7 inches across, or 8 inches across, 7 inches down. I've turned it sideways. We're going to go 7 inches, and we don't have to worry because I have another sheet. Yeah, true story. All right, here we go. Super cute. Can't go wrong. This paper is adorable. All right, here we go. And we're just figuring it out, right? I'm just figuring it out. All right, so now you can see I have that side. Now in this one here, you can see this is double matted. I'm not going to be doing that because so a lot of those Yetis are cut off, but I'm getting some on this side, and I really love that. That's perfect for me. I think I like this the way it is, but I do have some paper reserves, and I might run a little piece of red glitter in here. Let's go ahead and grab our other photos. I have these 3 photos. He's so cute when he's popping up over here. All right, and then him diving in. And I know that I'm going to want to situate those. This here is kind of what I want to use, and this is big. So this is 3.5 by 3.5, and if I was going to do 3 touching each other, then I would be looking at 10.5 inches, which is like this big. To put that on a diagonal, you can see that that's going to be really big. So I may have to I really do like this one, but I may have to make hard choices and only do 2 of these photos on this little strip. Or maybe I make this smaller and I have it overlap. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. So this would hang over it, and then these photos would be cut down. I'm going to grab some of my square thin cuts real quick. Okay, here's a couple of my square thin cuts, and I'm just going to measure these real quickly so I know which size I'm talking about. And this is 2 3/4. I like to use these to see if my photos are going to work out. They are perfect to say, okay, this is a 2 3/4 square. Let me take a look. It's just quick and easy for me. This one here, I feel like I could even get that at 2 3/4. Now this one here is obviously a lot bigger, and I'm going to try to use it. But I feel like 2 3/4 might be a good size for the photo. This one is a little closer to that one at about 3 1/8. Same thing, I don't need that much. This one's better, but I think I'm good. So if I go with 2 3/4 now, I'm looking at 3. As I do 3, I'm at 9. I'm like, oh, that's a little bit much, right? Let's go ahead and start to play. All right, I have this sweater fabric paper that I want to bring in now for this cut. It's going to give us a nice pop of red. I really should be looking at my scraps behind me. Throw on the side. I had some scraps left over. I'm going to see if I have a piece that I'm looking for. Okay. All right, I'm going to grab a new one. Let's move this. It's definitely going to be on the reverse side. There we go. Look at these papers. They're so good. All right. I'm going to grab this sweater one right here. And I feel like this is going to be a good fit, mostly covered up, but you'll still be able to tell because in the pictures, when you're looking at him with this snowman and all, you'll see that he's wearing a knit cap, and then the snowman has one. So I like that. All right. I'm going to cut this at 3. Like a really short 3, didn't it? Okay, there we go. Narrow. Okay, so that's 3. If I did 3 of them using the 2 3/4, I want a little bigger in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it just like this and work with it and then trim it off in the end. So that way I don't have to do all my measurements right here, right now. All right, for the pieces that go on here, I want to grab some of my scrap pieces of paper and bring in a little bit more color. All right, now I know the size that I want. I did this at 3, but I'm thinking I'm going to reserve that. I'm going to do it at 3 1/4 because I think I have the actual, I have the measurement for it. Then I can do fuller mats with this. I think I have the room for that. I do. I like that one a little bit better. So happy I found that now. All right, so for this, I'm going to cut these 3 by 3. And I may cut these down again. This is live process for me. I'm cutting these at 3 by 3. I realized I was going to need one more, and I thought I had pulled out extra scraps. I'm going to need to grab those. 3. and a 3. And I think what I'll do is, instead of having all of these be the light blue, I'm going to bring in a little bit of that navy that I have on the other side to kind of just like tie some stuff together, because I have the glimmer white and this glimmer blue on the snowflakes as well, and I think it'll help balance the deep tones on this. Here we go. Now I'm going to grab my photos, and I'm a person who trims multiple times. If I'm going down to 2 3/4, I am going to start trimming a little bit at a time, because I know that I can't like put it back, right? I mean, I could technically print it again, but who wants to go through that? I am close. There we go. And I've always done it this way instead of tracing on my pictures or using weird things, weird cutting tools. I always call them weird cutting tools. But yeah, this is my process, and I'm really comfortable with it. Okay, 2 3/4. Let's do it again. This one's going to be a little bit easier because I've already cut my measurement once. So one of the things I'm doing here is, by cutting off more of the bottom, it's actually bringing him to me. When you cut off the top of your photo and you leave more of the bottom on, the person in the photo, it's an illusion is what it is. But if you cut off the top and you leave the bottom, they look further away. If you cut off the bottom, it brings them closer. I don't know. I do not understand the illusion aspect of it, but it is, try it. Maybe try it with an extra picture and see what you get. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm going to cut off his foot. He's losing some of his feet here. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to balance a little more on my cutting. And there you go. They're all done. I don't even think I'm going to need the one mat, but I have it in case this other idea doesn't work out for me. All right. It's so nice to be able to go through my photos and have such a huge variety of photos that I can kind of do whatever I want. All right, I'm just matting these on those 3x3s. This is the one that I think is probably going to be covered up. Maybe. We'll see if it works out for me. I think I'm going to go this way. I mean, this would be the order, right? He was here, here. These are my pictures. I'm going to go this way and see what I think. And then here is the item from my stash that I'm trying to use up. So I'm just going to kind of space this apart. And look, it's still going to work for what I want to do. I'm going to be able to put this on there. And this is a hole that he dug that he's going into. So there you go. I think that that's kind of cute. All right, I'm just going to bring this over here and kind of take a look at what my measurement is, reverse measurement. I'm going to cut this at 9 3/4. I'm going to cut this at 9 3/4. I'm going to mark it. Let's see my little pencil. I don't see my pencil marky thing. Let's just go this way. And that way I feel better about my measurement. It's 9 3/4. All right, here we go. What is the saying? Measure twice and cut once. That does not apply to me. I would be cut 5 times. I always say God has a sense of humor. I am a paper crafter who always has to recut. I have so many things. Here we go. All right. This is going to go on now. I already love how this is coming together, and I will potentially do a coordinating page. I know so many of you are 2-page layout people. You love your 2-page layouts. And I am in fact going to consider putting a complimentary page next to this. This blizzard was so good. I actually have pictures of them playing at night when the snow first came in. Oh, I think I'm going to be able to get rid of a little bit more. All right, I was looking at something there for a second. And just shave another 1/8 of an inch off here. Would make sense. I only put an 1/8 of an inch in between usually. There we go. All right, I am really liking this. Let's take a look at the sketch again. All right, so here's where I started with my inspirational sketch that I saw. I thought this was going to work. I love where the journaling is. I'm definitely going to do that as well. You can see the journal is added later as it goes on top of a couple of things here. So I'm going to use that. I added the stitching. I have that matting going on in the back, and now I have this little side 3 mat. Let's lay this out. All right, and then this is going to go here. And I feel like some of this is covered up. I'm going to move it over just a little. You're never going to see it because this is so long. I think I'm going to like this. I think this is going to look super cute when it's done. My big pictures are the big focal, and then I got these other ones in it. Now, one thing I'm going to do with this is instead of having it so high in the one it went all the way across, I'm actually going to bring it probably as low as I can so that I can work with some clustering. All right. I did that wrong. I want to attach this first and then use this to kind of size up. And instead of putting it over to one side, I'm going to kind of do it pretty spot on. This is how I normally craft when I am not working with a sketch and I'm just working with an inspiration. And then when I'm done this, I will actually put this entire file in Design Space. All right, I think that one's done. Let's grab another one I have to use up. I have so many, and they're also random. I made that, by the way. Nope, it bounced back out. It gave it to me, and then it took it away. I hope some's coming out. Yeah, okay. There we go. All right, let's eyeball this. And what I'm looking for is maybe a little bit of distance here and a little bit of distance here at the top to kind of balance that. I want to leave room here at the bottom for my clusters and my journaling. There we go. All right, let's talk about this little guy. All right, I have these close to my heart shaker foams. I love them. And you guessed it, I'm going to go ahead and make this a little shaker window. And I think it's going to be awesome. All right, so I have the shaker foam. Let's grab the anti-static pouch. This time of year, January, ugh, so much. I want to make sure I'm getting some on my fingers, the whole bit. All right, I'm going to scratch this with my piercing tool, and whichever side you feel has like a little bit of a give, it has it. I have so much of this shaker foam because I love shakers. All right, I'm going to grab my other adhesive. I do not know how great this adhesive over here is, and I've been using a lot of it, but I kind of don't want to play. So this is an adhesive that I tested really, really well. All right, there we go. One shaker foam going down. And now that's my fingerprints. I'm going to wipe it with a regular rag, and then I'm going to do the anti-static, and then I'm going to wipe it again. There we go. Okay. Really nice. Oh, and if you wanted to make one of these, let me give you the sizes. It's so easy to make something like this. Really, you're just going to create it as a mat with the rounded edges. The finished size on this is 3.5 by 3.5. So you take 3.5 piece of glitter paper, grab yourself a white square that's on the inside of that. That's about a 3 by 3. Round the edges on it. Grab one of your thin cuts, punch the center out, and let me get you the size of that circle, give or take. Let's see if I can, let me get you that circle size. It's about 2.25, and then a 2.25 circle in the center, and you are in business. All right, here we go. And I've used a lot of my the foam squares. I've been cleaning them out so I can use these, and then I get to throw that away. Very exciting. Okay, this is actually going right on here. All right, I do want to add a few supports. foam tape supports here. Let's just go for this one. So I'm going to put one of these in each of the corners to balance this. Okay, there we go. But since I want this to go on top of this, and that's where I want my bits to be, just making sure I don't have a lot of that on there. All right, I have some mixed snow fetti. All right, mixed snow fetti. That's what I'm going to call it. Since I want to put this on the top, looking for my silver spoon. Here we go. I am going to add it here and spread it out. Instead of putting that in here, trying to flip it over, add this to this, we're going to do it this way. All things are going to be right in our world. I think that's enough. I don't want too much of it covered up. There we go. And I get to mark that off. I have a lot of shaker bits to use. Not as much as a friend of mine. You know who you are. We're going to peel these off. There we go. And now I'm just going to flip it over and center it up. Oh, did you see the jump? That lets you know that you have a static issue. All right, so I'm going to, one has escaped, it's right there. I want to make sure that I do everything I can to kind of eliminate the static. A little bit of that right there. I'm going to put it on the top of this again. There we go. I want to keep that dust off of anywhere else because I want this to stick. Just pushing that in. I don't want anything to get stuck on here so I don't get a good seal. All right, we're going to hover, hover, hover. Still, look at that jump. I don't love the jump. Okay. Little bit more, just dabbing that bag on there. All right, we're going to let it go. It's that time of year. There we go. Just had to go down fast enough. Okay. Here's our shaker. Did I do too much? I have a habit of doing too much. Looks like I might have did too much. We will see what happens with that. I have a lot in there. You don't want to know what I have to do. I think I'm going to leave it. All right, here we go. Now, this whole thing here, I want it to go here. So I want it, even though this has some dimension that's right here. Oh, I really like the way this has turned out. I would have put less in here, but I'm not going to rip it apart. I have a habit of overfilling my shakers. It's like a disease that I have. Ha, ha, ha. All right. Let's go ahead and put some foam tape on this and double this up. There we go. And get rid of these little pools. I'm normally a cutter, so I'm not great at getting a nice clean pool. I do it very rarely. So long. There we go. All right, so once this goes down, foam tape is not forgiving, so I need to make sure that I really look at it. And I think what I'm going to do is cross the stitching on the side and the bottom. There we go. Look, super cute. All right, I would have put less in there, but guess what? That ship has sailed, so we're going to go with it. All right, here are my clusters. Instead of doing these clusters here, with the leaves and all, we have snowflakes and we have Yetis. All right, so I'm gonna have this little Yeti, I think, over here. I'm just gonna start to kind of build what I might like to have. I feel like you can barely see him inside here now, so I can almost cover that up and be safe with that. All right, here we go. I feel like we're going to put that up there. I have some bling off to the side. And I have Freezin' Season It's a bit nippy out, and I like both of these. And then I had this here that says, when it's cold, ain't it thrillin'? But I'm going to put that aside. And I think this is where I'm going to live. I do like the freezing season, and I feel like I could cut it down, make it smaller, and add a little something there. Get that out of the way. So I'm going to cut this. It's a bit nippy out off first because I don't want to lose that in doing the other one. I can reserve that. There we go. And now I'm going to cut this in tight. Cut that extra off. There we go. It's freezing season. This is kind of cute. And I need a little bit room for journaling here, so I think I'm going to play and see where I might end up with a couple of things. There we go. Kind of just put a few things down and see if I like the overall flow. I have some stamps and I have some acrylics for some more dimension. I kind of feel like I don't like these two, you know, being so across from one another. So I'm just kind of moving those. I think that's better. And I like that. This is very cute. Some of these acrylics. And I think it'll be nice to add a few of these there. I have room down here for my journaling, but I do want to add some snowflakes. I'm going to bring in that Carolina. And I want to do a little test of this first. Oh, here we go. I just have some white paper. I want to see the color of that and see if I'm going to like it. I'm not 100 on that. Let me just see periwinkle, just in case. See, I feel like if I'm not going to exactly match, then I don't want to try match. And I think this blue is picked up in my photos. So we're going to go with this. Now, since I'm stamping right on it, I'm making sure that I really clean my block every time. It is kind of off camera because I am cleaning my block on my shirt. I do not wear a craft apron. I wear a craft t-shirt that I use the bottom of. I just find it easier for me. I don't want to, you know, kind of four corner this. There we go. And now I have a smaller one. And I'm going to stamp that even right on top of stuff, just like this. Basically everywhere I have one of the others. There we go. They're in pairs now. Perfect. The freezing season for me, I like to use a lot of marker and kind of ink around some things. I'm using this really dark blue. It's just an old marker that I have. I keep a few of these in different colors. There we go. This is going to get a little bit more. And there we go. And now I'm eyeballing him since he's going to be on here. And that'll be here. I think that's the winner for me. Let me grab some foam tape. I want to be able to balance my Yeti with the already foam tape that's here. Okay, that'll be great. I think that's all the foam tape I'm going to be using. All right, go ahead and put him down. This Yeti is really cute. I really like him. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll put this on. I'll do the technique to it afterwards. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive, leaving the top with no adhesive, and I'll tuck that in. I like how now I am kind of doing breaks on the stitching. I'm going to put this on next. I'm going to use glue dots for this. Just one glue dot. I love how delicate these are. Is this available in Design Space? Sure. Do I think I would get as clean as a cut? I mean, I don't know, maybe with my maker or something, but I also feel, I realize that's high. That's where my Yeti's going. Here we go. And I'm just turning it ever so slightly. There we go. I feel like it would be a challenge. You know, you have to have the perfect setting on that, and you're not going to necessarily, you know, get something this delicate without any frays or anything, and it could kind of be a frustrating process. I don't know if this is where I had it or not now. The challenge is real. There we go. I think you can go wrong when you have such pretty things. Offset that a little bit. I think this guy's going to get some foam tape too. So cute. Still also trying to be mindful that I never wiped up after that anti-static pouch, and that can really affect my adhesive. There we go. So many good things. All right. Super cute, super cute. All right, and I have some snowflakes here as well. And I want to add some of these snowflakes. I have different shaped snowflakes in this. I'm just trying to make sure that I got kind of some of all of them. Here we go. I'm going to use these regular glue dots, but kind of roll them a little bit after I get them on. That one I just ripped off so that you can't see them. And I'm going to tuck this underneath, but so that I have this really cute snowflake cluster here. I have the stamped images, I have the acrylics, and I have that. I'm going to do it again up here, just kind of balancing it. This one I think I'm going to put right here. Even though I don't have stamped images with that one, it's still just really, it gives a little something. Now these ones here, I'm going to grab my micro glue dots. They are really, so these, I was going to say, these don't look like my micros. These ones are micro glue dots for the smaller ones. You can also just use glue. You know, if you have a glue preference, then go for that. I'm grabbing some of these little ones, and I'm adding those to the other little snowflake areas that I stamped. All right. All the things are going on here. This is so good. Look at this. I'm really loving how this turned out. Now I'm going to add my journaling, so this is going to look a little sparse down here, but that's okay because I do my journaling on the computer. It is where my preferred journaling is, my preferred process. Oh no, let's just try to pull the pin out. There we go. I buy shorter pins, and so I do rip the balls off of those a little more often. When they get stuck in there. And since I'm a person who loves apparently to leave her glue open, I deal with it quite a bit. I'm just holding that down for a couple minutes. Let's grab a weight here. There we go. Let's do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I might not remember, and then I can very responsibly throw away this. All right, it should be good to go. And it is. Look at what we got going on here. Now, since I only use that single glue dot, I can kind of play with these, give them a little fluff. And now I have some bling that I thought matched this pretty well. I'm going to take a look at where I might like to add a little bit of that. I do wish I had put less snowflakes in here, but they might calm down a little bit. All right, I'm going to kind of put my bling in just wherever. I'm not going to really think about how all my journaling and everything's going to lay out because I'm going to do that in really small strips. And I'm using medium and small bling, and I have 2 here and just 2 here. And I feel like that's all I'm going to do. All right. All right. One thing, if it'll even work, I have some of this, the Stickles Moon Dust, and I have to tell you, this was dry and hard as a rock. Dry and hard as a rock. I heated up some water, got it pretty hot, stuck it in there, and then I had to do that multiple times. Multiple times. This will dry out, but if you give it time, I can still feel like a chunk in the bottom, and I don't want that chunk, so I'm going to kind of stay on the top. But this is a little thicker than it would normally be, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to scoop some, just a tiny bit at a time, on the back of this palette knife, and up here where it says it's freezing, I'm just going to kind of dab it across there. Get a little bit more. It has like a little, let me show you, it has like a little snow thing on it right here. And I'm kind of just getting some of this along that. But I couldn't, it has come back pretty well for being dried, hard, like super hard. Just, I was not hard as a rock, but hard. Like there's no way I could even scrape it out. And by the way, it also tripled in size when I did it. So that was kind of funny too. It's going to take a while to dry, but just using the back of my knife, I'm just dabbing some of that on. And then where my journaling's going to go, we're going to get a little bit more. And I'm going to spread some of this down here, right where my journaling is going to go. I'm going to shove some up under here, really kind of use that palette knife. A little bit on the back over here. I'm going to rotate. Oh no, I hit something that is, oh, that Cricut pen is not, I got a little smudging over here because my pen, my stitches are done with a Cricut pen, and they are not color fast, permanent, archival. They're not inked. So, right, I'm just dabbing a tiny bit more right there and right there. I think this might do it for me. Okay, for this over here, I'm gonna cover it. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more right here. I want it to come up just a little bit higher right here. It just looked like such a tiny little dot. I'm sure I stopped because of having it there. You can even add some, you know, if you did your little frame, you want to add a little on the frame. You can add a little bit on that too. Just have fun wherever you put it. I'm just putting it on the back of my knife like this, just getting a tiny bit on the back of my palette knife and then just dabbing it on there. There we go. A little bit there and there. That's going to be perfect. Okay, let's talk about the fix. I forgot to wipe my palette knife off. Here we go. I don't feel it's really important to do this fix as I'm looking at it now. It is a very small smudge. And I'm all about giving grace this year. So I don't know. I feel like I don't really need to fix it. Here's my smudge, this tiny little smudge right here. And the answer to fix it is right here. If you ever do anything like that, you want a fuller one, not this. This one's too big. You want to get just a fuller one. You just want to put something on top of it. Ta-da, that would be it. But I'm going to leave it. All right, look at this. I love it. I love it. It has turned out so good. I'm going to be adding my journaling details down here. I'm going to wait till, of course, my Stickles gel dries. And once again, this was the Moon Dust. All right, here it is. I added it to the top here. I love that. The pictures are everything on this layout. They really are. He is so fun. Now, in this box right here, which I might have to do a story, this box, the other side of that is labeled Snowman Kit. And I mean, you got to get the carrot from the house, right? But like, you know, there you go. And it's and I would add mix match gloves to it, or hats, or, you know, a scarf or whatever as we went through it. But it all started because I bought a snowman kit. There he is popping out of his little tunnel. I love all the things. We've got dimension, we've got Stampin' Thin Cuts. I think it's a fabulous page. Thank you guys so much. I love to just let my process happen, not rush through something, to do it in my natural time and just kind of see what happens. I'm so excited that even though these pages are over 10 years old, I think they're like, you know, 15 here, that I was able to use some current collections to really bring those in. And this is a fun layout. I can't wait to add my details. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. These things really help me out here in the YouTube community. And if you leave me a comment and say hi, I will make sure to say hi back. But I would love to hear like what your favorite element was on this page. Did you love the gels? Did you like the shaker? Do you like stamping and thin cutting? And do you like to color? Like, I would love to hear what your favorite things are to do when you craft. I'll leave all the information about the products that I used today in the details in the description of this video. Thanks so much, everybody, and happy crafting.